Let's talk about something a lot of women don't say out loud, but they feel deep in their bones. That moment, when a man says something so subtle, so sharp, it slices right through your confidence. You freeze. You wonder, did I just hear that right? And then you second-guess yourself, again. It's not always yelling or slamming doors. Sometimes it's a quiet sentence that shakes you. Something that sounds calm on the surface, but underneath, it's cold. Cutting. Designed to shut you down. If you've been through this, maybe with a partner, a grown son, even a boss, I just want to say, you are not overreacting. You're not too sensitive. You're noticing something real. And your gut is wiser than you think. So let's talk about the quiet red flags, the words that don't sound loud, but are loud with meaning. The things a man might say when he's trying to control you, shame you, or chip away at who you are, all while pretending to care. One of the first phrases I want to talk about is this. You're lucky I put up with you. Now, it might be said with a smirk. Or maybe with a fake laugh like it's just a joke. But it's not a joke. It's a warning in disguise. This sentence tells you that your worth is up for debate. That your presence, your love, your time are things he's tolerating. And he wants you to believe you should be grateful for it. If you've ever heard this, maybe after you spoke up about something that hurt you, I want you to remember. That's not love. That's ego. Real love doesn't keep score. Real love doesn't say, I'm doing you a favor by being here. And if you grew up with messages like be easy to love or don't push people away, this kind of phrase can hit hard. But just because someone tolerates you doesn't mean they value you. The second one is just as sneaky. It goes like this. You always have to make everything about you. Phew. That one hits especially hard for women who are just starting to find their voice. You try to explain how something made you feel. You say, when that happened, I felt really shut out. And suddenly, he flips it. Makes you feel selfish for having a feeling at all. But here's what I want you to know. Speaking up is not making everything about you. It's being human. It's showing up with courage. And yes, sometimes women over 60 finally start to do this after decades of staying quiet. Of putting others first. And when you do, it threatens people who are used to the silence. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're changing. I had a woman in my community once, she said her husband used this phrase every time she had a boundary. If she said she needed some space, or asked him not to interrupt her, he'd snap, it's always about you. It shut her down. Until one day, she quietly said back, this time, it is about me, and that's okay. You don't have to fight. You don't have to convince anyone. You can just stand in your truth, with quiet strength. Now here's one more phrase I want to name today, and we'll go deeper in a bit. It's this. You're just trying to start a fight. Sound familiar? This one comes up a lot when you're trying to solve something. You bring up a pattern that's been bothering you, like how he dismisses your opinion in front of others, or how he keeps forgetting something important. And instead of listening, he accuses you of trying to stir things up. But you're not starting a fight. You're trying to fix a leak before the roof caves in. Women are often taught to keep the peace. But peace isn't silence. Peace is honesty. Peace is being heard. And yes, you might be bringing up something hard. That's not conflict. That's clarity. That's adult conversation. So if someone keeps labeling your honesty as an attack, remember this. It's not about your tone. It's about their discomfort with being accountable. You're not the problem for asking for clarity. You're not dramatic for noticing the cracks. You're not difficult for wanting respect. And if these words, you're lucky I put up with you, you always make it about you, you're just trying to start a fight, if any of them hit close to home. Pause. Take a breath. This isn't about blaming yourself. It's about recognizing what doesn't feel like love, even if it once looked like it. You deserve words that build you, not break you. And it's never too late to draw that line. Let's keep going, because there are more quiet red flags to name. And the more we name them, the less power they hold. Let's take a breath here. I know, this isn't easy to hear. But there's something powerful about finally recognizing the pattern. When you can name it, you can stop carrying the weight of it. So let's keep going. Another phrase that's a real red flag, and I've heard it too many times from women who stayed too long, hoping things would change, is this one. You're overreacting. Now listen. This one really gets under your skin. Because it doesn't sound cruel. It sounds like it could be true. And that's the trick. The moment you speak up, even calmly, you hear it. You're overreacting. And suddenly, you're not talking about the issue anymore. Now you're defending your right to feel something at all. That's manipulation. Subtle. Sneaky. And painful. When someone tells you you're overreacting, they're not trying to understand you. They're trying to control the narrative. And for a lot of women, especially those of us who've been told to be nice, be patient, don't cause trouble, this kind of phrase hits a lifetime of self-doubt. So let me say this as clearly as I can. If something feels off to you, it is. If something hurt you, it matters. You are not overreacting, you're responding. And you're allowed to. Here's a little tool that can help in that moment, when someone says, you're overreacting, and you start to feel yourself shrink. Take a breath. And instead of defending yourself, try saying this, gently but firmly. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm asking you to hear me. That one sentence can shift the whole dynamic. Because it reminds you, and them, that you're not looking for permission to feel. You're just asking for respect. Now, here's one more that I want to talk about today. And this one can really twist your heart because it sounds so convincing. You'll never find anyone better than me. This one usually comes up when you're starting to pull away. When you're getting stronger. When you're no longer buying the excuses or tolerating the disrespect. And suddenly, they hit you where it hurts. They try to scare you into staying. You'll never find better. Who else would put up with you? No one else will love you like I do. It's not a compliment. It's a cage. This kind of language isn't about love. It's about power. And it's especially cruel because it plays on old fears, fears many women carry quietly. The fear of being alone. The fear of starting over later in life. The fear that maybe, this is the best it's going to get. But hear me now, that is a lie. You do not need to settle for someone who wounds you just to feel strong. You do not need to be grateful for crumbs. And you do not need to stay out of fear. You are not too old. You are not too much. You are not too late. And when a man tries to convince you that he's the best you'll ever have, remind yourself. The best would never make you feel small to feel loved. The best would lift you, not trap you. A woman in her 60s once told me something beautiful after walking away from a long, emotionally manipulative marriage. She said, he used to say I'd never make it on my own. But once I left, I realized. I already was. That strength, that quiet, steady power, it's in you too. Even if it's buried right now. Even if you're still scared. It's there. And here's something else I want you to hold close. You don't need a dramatic goodbye to reclaim yourself. Sometimes it starts with a whisper, this doesn't feel right anymore. And then one small choice. One small boundary. One step closer to peace. We're going to talk about that peace in just a minute. Because the most powerful walk-away moments aren't loud, they're clear. They come from knowing your worth, not proving it. Let's go there, gently. Here's the truth. By the time a woman is ready to walk away, she's already been quiet for too long. She's already explained, forgiven, doubted herself, and stayed up at night wondering, is it really that bad? So when someone says something like, you're too sensitive, or you're just being dramatic, it doesn't just hurt, it confuses you. Because you've probably been trying so hard not to be too much. Let's be honest. Most women, especially those of us raised to keep the peace, are not too sensitive. We've just been conditioned to ignore what hurts. So when a man uses that line on you, "You're too sensitive," what he's really saying is, "Your feelings make me uncomfortable, so I want you to stop having them." And no, that is not love. That's control dressed up as critique. Real love doesn't dismiss your emotions. It makes space for them. You can be soft and strong. You can feel deeply and have boundaries. You can say "this hurts me" without apologizing for it. Now let me talk about the last one, and it's subtle, but it cuts deep. You always make everything about you. If you've ever been told this, especially when you're trying to express how you feel, I want you to hear me now. That is a tactic. It's a way to shut you down and flip the focus back on them. Here's how it usually happens. You say, "I felt dismissed when you said that in front of your friends." And instead of hearing you, they snap back, "Oh my God, you always make everything about you. It was just a joke." And now, you're not talking about what hurt. Now you're defending yourself, again. This is the pattern. You bring a boundary, they bring shame. You bring a need, they bring guilt. You bring a truth, they bring confusion. And it's exhausting. But you are not selfish for needing to be heard. You are not making it about you just because you want connection, respect, and clarity. You're asking for something very basic. To feel safe in your own relationship. To not have to shrink just to keep the peace. And if someone can't handle that, if someone meets your honesty with judgment, then no, they are not your person. They might be familiar, but that doesn't mean they're safe. So what do you do when you start to hear these things? You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain yourself into the ground. You don't even have to storm out. Sometimes the most powerful move is simply this. Pause. Notice. And start choosing you again. That might mean walking away. That might mean saying less. That might mean reclaiming your time, your voice, your space. Whatever it looks like, just know this. You're not being dramatic. You're being done. And you're allowed to be done. Even if you've been together for 30 years. Even if he's the father of your children. Even if your family says he means well. Even if no one else sees what you see. You see it. You feel it. And that's enough. You deserve kindness that doesn't leave you questioning your sanity. You deserve love that doesn't make you walk on eggshells. You deserve peace, not punishment wrapped in pretty words. And it's not too late. Not by a long shot. You are allowed to start over, even if you're 65. You are allowed to protect your joy, even if it makes others uncomfortable. You are allowed to choose peace, even if it means walking away from someone who once felt like home. Because guess what? Home is not a place where you have to fight to be understood. Home is where you can breathe. And that's what I want for you. Not just survival, but ease. Not just quiet, but safety. Not just love, but real love. The kind that hears you. Holds space for you. And never, ever asks you to make yourself smaller. If this speaks to you, if even one of these phrases sounded familiar, you're not alone. Drop a comment if you feel safe enough. Or just whisper to yourself tonight, "I'm not crazy. I'm just waking up." And that, right there, is the beginning of something beautiful. You're not asking for too much. You're asking for what's fair. And you deserve every bit of it.